Na, 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 na. Everybody knows. Da, na, na. Da, na, na, na. Everybody knows. Da, na, na. Da, na, na, na. Everybody knows. Fair enough. Da na 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 na. Everybody knows. Da na 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 na. Everybody knows. Greetings, fellow citizens. This is Citizen Kong, and welcome to another Fez Night. Tonight's Fez Night should be called The Good, the Bad, and the Fez. How can I screw that up? All right. Hey, I hope you all had a great Easter Sunday today. For those of you that practice such observances, and the rest of you that probably call it the rite of spring, or some sort of pagan sort of holiday to welcome in the better weather, and such symbols as fraternity, such symbols as fertility, as the egg and the rabbit. And for my Jewish friends, Passover. Not exactly, I know that Passover occurs over several days. So, but I know this is like the Passover season, I believe. And I want to give a shout out to Louis Arrighi, formerly known as Whiskey Man. And I want to say hello. And Louis was one of my very first friends on YouTube. And when I started vlogging, I mainly vlogged about politics and current events, and Louis and I, our politics are pretty much nearly 100% in agreement, and he liked my style, and he had a lot more subscribers than I did at the time, and he helped me get some new subscribers. He actually campaigned, or not campaigned, but sent some subscribers my way, and I really appreciate that. He's the very first person, possibly the only one, that said, "You're good. I'm going to get you more subs." So thank you, Louis. And here, I'll raise my cup of tea to you. I'm sorry I slurped. It's just so darn hot. Cheers, Louis. I have to turn something off here. My screensaver is going to keep popping on during my Fez Night, and I won't be able to see my screen. So excuse me for just a moment. And let's see. Display sleep. Up here. Okay. Yes, I know. I should have worked this out before I got it started. As you'll notice, when I do this weird thing where I look up like this, it's because I wear bifocals, and I can read up close with the bottom part of my bifocals, and that's why I have to do this when I look up. Some of you commented that I had new glasses last week. Those are just my cheap readers, so I could look more directly into the camera. And yeah, I kind of like the look of my cheap readers. It's a nice change. I could do things without my glasses. My eyes seem a lot smaller, though. Well, when I take my glasses off, don't they? I get so used to seeing myself with glasses. Not that I wear glasses all the time. And my cheap readers are around here somewhere, but I don't see them. I don't see them right available. Oh, here they are. My coffee table. These are kind of cool though. When I found these, I had another pair, but I broke them. But they fold flat. It's pretty bitchin'. They fit in your pocket very nicely. They fold flat, and then I can see stuff on the screen like this. I can read stuff and look more directly into the camera. I would love to find a pair of, these are actual Ray-Ban frames, Wayfarer style, and I mean actual, they say Ray-Ban on them. Not that I'm, brand conscious, but I do like my Ray-Bans. And, well, I guess I am brand conscious, but Anyway, I'd love to find a pair of this Wayfarer style with clear frames. I think that'd be really, really cool. But I've never found any like that. Don't see them anywhere. All right, enough about my glasses. So I want to say hi to Louie. Louie, I said last week, you almost practically made my jaw drop. You know. And where is that? Louis commented on my little vlog that I called last week, and he said something about CK. You don't pretend you know shit about economics. I went to Mrs. Something Institute on YouTube, Mises, and I could say that you are a defender of the nanny state. Go educate yourself and read about Austrian economics and set yourself free. He says, just kidding. And I said, like, whoa, that's coming from Louis. And he was just taking the mick. He was just taking the piss, you know? And so that was pretty funny. And apparently that's what he gets people saying to him all the time. I'm going to turn the screen up a little bit. Of course, it kind of reflects my glasses a little bit more. But I wanted to say... I acknowledged the people that came by, said hello. Wobblehead managed to stay awake long enough to because Fez Night puts him to sleep, to see some stuff. I was coming down with a cold last week, and or getting over a cold, one of the two. And Angie said, I hope you get to feeling better. Speaking of which, Angie is her, what is it, YouTube After Dark channel. She's put together sort of created a scripted drama where people are playing themselves, and men are competing for her attention. Let's see, Elle Brookman is her ex-husband, and Clevo is the other man, and now we have a third man, Runnermouth. I suggested that John's Wacky World be one of the suitors, but no, we're just friends. And she dubbed me the man who can't make up his mind. Well, I suppose what I am, really. I've made up my mind. I'm just not telling anyone. No. I'm reluctant to participate in that sort of soap opera type thing. And I can't help but think about the way I look at relationships in real life. And believe me, I've thought so much about it, overanalyzed many different ways what the whole human mating ritual is about. And what works best for me, if I've seen a woman and I've said, I like her, I want her, I'm going to pursue her, that never works for me. Maybe because I'm not good at it, or maybe because women have a mind of their own. They're not objects that you could obtain. And the women that you could obtain that way, I don't think I would respect them in the long run anyway. I think in the bird kingdom, okay, so let's say mainly in the animal kingdom, let's start with birds. Okay, you have the peacock. Okay, in some senses, that works for humans. There's the male who really does himself up in clothes, drives a flashy car, and women will want to approach him, the peacock. And then there's this sort of thing when young rams are trying to prove their manhood, they butt each other, their ramhood, they fight, they butt up against each other. And I suppose that goes to show who is the alpha male. And in that way, they attract females. I can't think of any instance in the animal kingdom, if you can, where a male singles out one female and says that female is the one I want to breed with and pursues her. I think in most cases the male either approaches any female he can, or in the bug or in the animal and the insect kingdom, the male tries to do whatever he can to attract the female to come to him. So I don't know. It kind of reminds me of this scripted drama. Reminds me a little bit of Gone with the Wind with Scarlett O'Hara, where there she was, the center of attention, and all these men were flocking around her, trying to woo her, trying to impress her, and And she was just like, oh, you're nice, you're nice, you know. But the man that she, what was his name? Ashley Wilkes. The man that she really wanted really didn't want anything to do with her that much. He liked her, but he was more interested in other women, which made her want him even more. And then, of course, there was Rhett Butler, the man who said, frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. Basically, he let her know he was attracted to her, but it was not any big deal to him. You know, his indifference bothered her. In fact, she acted like she hated him, but the passion ran deep. So I couldn't help but think about that. But am I the man who could make up his mind? No, I think I pretty much have. But cheers to you, Angie. Hey, you're gorgeous. You know, there's no doubt about that. Oh, but I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'm the kind that doesn't like to compete with other men for that sort of thing. I don't know. Some of you can make of it what you will. Let's see. And let's see. Got Louis here. Covered him. Esoteric cult. He's a cultist. This person said that this person left a comment and said like he hopes there's a Fez Night next week. And it's a person that doesn't comment a whole lot, but was really kind and came by my page and let me know that he watched Fez Night. I hope I'm assuming you're a male. I hope you know, if you're female, please let me know. I don't want to offend you. And let's see, I got a troll here. Let's see, there's a troll trying to argue with me. Oh, we must mention L. Brookman. Yes, L. Brookman. Who had an interesting idea that that in order to clean up the environment, the air, is that if you keep a car more than 10 years, you have to be deported with the car. Great, okay. It seemed like he was targeting Mexicans, but I'll let that go. Because it's not just Mexicans that have cars that are over 10 years old, L. Brookman. You know how the Tea Party and the GOP feels about other races besides white. Ah! It's funny how he targets Mexicans. Just saying. Hey, you know, we have illegals, plenty of illegals in this country that are white, you know. Okay? There's Irish and there's Russians and there's Ukrainians. There's illegal Canadians. Did you know that? No, I don't know. Let's see. C.S. John, C.I.S. John, who's the wonderful person up there in New England, the fisherman, who has a bar. And that's the first time I ever saw him. He posted videos from his bar. And he asked me if I had ever had pickled herring. I've had the kippered herring in the can. And like I said, if it's smoked or pickled, I'll eat it. You know, in general. I like pickled eggs, pickled onions, regular pickles, pickled cucumbers, and smoked. Oh, stupid Cyber9 Rounder. He said smoked pork. What if you heard of barbecue? It's not the same thing, okay? You can put hickory chips on your barbecue, but that's not the same thing.
Time to check the scrambled tofu.
Did you hear that? It's time to check my scrambled tofu. It's not the same thing. And, lost my train of thought. No, I mean, a barbecue is not the same as a smokehouse, okay? Apparently, Timmy, you know nothing about smoked meats. You know, smoking was a way of curing meat back in the day. They used salt, and they would cure it so it would last longer because they didn't have refrigeration. It has nothing to do, and actually, technically, you're not cooking it. The temperature might be raised a little bit, but the smoke permeates the meat and acts as a preservative. And so he tries to treat me like I'm stupid, but you're really the stupid one. Let's see, or let's just say ignorant. And we'll say that. He tries to treat me like I'm ignorant, but you're the ignorant one. And my balls are hairy, said, smoke me a kipper, I'll be back for breakfast. And my good friend Bobo McGraw, he says he loves hearing his name, it confirms his existence. Oh, and Gino the Hitman. Congratulations. Gino the Hitman is now married. He is hitched. And let's see. Then there's some more trolls bothering me here. And it's the same person, but different sock accounts. And then there's another troll. Okay, it's not all the same person. There's about 2 people here with different sock accounts bothering me. And and Grace, I really wish you'd change your channel from Tranny Patty X. Get a new one, please. But it's always nice seeing you here. She said that she liked my black glasses. It has more of a Big Bang Theory-ish sexy. You know, if you remember that, you know the show Big Bang Theory, which I used to really love, but I sold my television. They don't carry it on Hulu. And and I said, oh, if she thinks nerdy types are sexy, then she's my kind of woman. So great, thank you, Grace. And let's see, the Mountain Response stopped by, hello, and Frank the Mountain said F the thumbs. Yeah, I don't really care about the thumbs up, thumbs down thing. It doesn't bother me all that much. And let's see. I just had to mention it, you know, because I was getting friends, people were saying, what's up with all the thumbs down? And I'm saying, well, you know, and this person that I singled out, true, I feel that she's the majority of it, but yeah, there's a couple other people that definitely, when they come by, give my video a thumbs down because they don't like me, and I don't like them. Let's see, and thank you for stopping by. It's always good to see you in the comments. Ruiner Girl, it's very nice. She left a really kind compliment. She said, LOL, I don't know what it is about you. Your mood is contagious. You laugh, I laugh. You get annoyed, I get annoyed. It's weird, LOL. Always enjoy your vids. Really like your new glasses, too. Hope life is treating you good, Kong. Take care. Well, thank you. Thank you, Ruiner Girl. It was nice to see you in the comments. Yeah, things are looking up. Things are looking up for me a bit. Wow, look at my thumb. See how torn up and ratty my thumb is? That's because I work with my hands. And I've been working, yes. And I told some of you about my main job. And then Timmy said, oh yeah, I know the guy I work for. And then started like making the veiled threats he's going to come by. You know, basically rat on me, be a snitch, and talk about what I say on YouTube about it. But I love that job. I love it. But it's not enough to support me. I can't really live on that job. But I love what it represents. I love the people there. I really like my coworkers, and my bosses are great. They're really, really cool. There's two bosses, basically, there. And so I got lucky again. I interviewed for another job, which is not what I made before, but it's more in what I used to do. It'll involve welding and working with metal. It's a bigger company, and because it's a bigger company, it's going to involve drug testing. So I have to go get drug tested tomorrow. So I'm a little apprehensive about it, but I'll do okay. You know, it's I quit smoking that stuff about a couple of weeks ago, and I never really smoked a hell of a lot of it anyway. It was just very, very little, just so I could watch movies and videos and just chill out at night. I can't do that sort of thing during the day. Basically, I don't get anything done, you know, and this job seems very interesting. The interview went very well. There was a welding test, which I passed with flying colors. The guy, since the pay is low, the people that they got applying for the job really didn't know what the hell they were doing. And so the guy said they had 4 other people come and try, and I was the only guy that could cut it. So that's cool. And I don't need some like major so all the time that I worked for almost 25 years, I never got any kind of certification because I only needed to be good enough to work there. And actually, you had to be very, very good to work there. But it was such a small company. It's essentially that the boss said, you're good, and you can weld this, and that's all we need, you know. I didn't need a piece of paper with it. So that's what's good about this. Except they do make something that it goes against my ethics. But I need to make a living. So I'm gonna have 2 jobs. Knock wood. If it works out that I do get hired, which looks really good. I I'm going to have two jobs. Because I'm going to definitely try to keep one foot in the door at the other job I really like, and but that'll be part time there. That'll become a part time job. Yeah, check it out. Okay. Oh, I want to mention I watched a movie the other night. Speaking of relationships, I probably should have talked about this earlier, but I watched a movie called Cash Back. That's a British film. At least everybody had English accents in the movie, and it's essentially about this guy. He's in art school, and it starts out with him breaking up with this girl, and she's very angry with him. It's a very angry breakup, and he ends up sort of like obsessing over, regretting it, thinking about her a lot, and kind of find out anyway, and he can't sleep. The guy can't sleep, and there's some very interesting kind of surreal techniques in the film. I'll just really quickly. There's a scene where he's on the phone, the payphone in the hall, and in his where he lives, his flat with the other bunch of students, and he moves backward, away from the phone like this, into his room, and then the room becomes like the bed is like up against the wall. I mean, he moves out of the hall, and then it's like as if he's drifting into his room like this, but everything's still like this. Okay, can you follow? So like his bed is like right here, and he's moving towards his bed, and then you like see his head hit the pillow, and then everything becomes sort of normal. It's very I've never seen that done before, and I thought it was a very very interesting visual. And it wasn't like, obviously it wasn't computer generated or anything like that. It was all done, with just good camera work and good set design. And the thing about the film is that it's about relationships, but from a male's perspective, and which I really enjoyed. It wasn't one of those, and I'm a sucker. Come on, I'll admit, movies like Four Weddings and a Funeral and stuff. I'm a sucker for relationship films, good ones. Ones that are balanced, with a male and female, but they're almost always weighted towards the female perspective. And this art student, breaks up with this woman, and he can't sleep. I mean, he really can't sleep. So he starts working nights. He's up 24 hours a day. He finds he has these extra 8 hours, and he needs something to do with it. And what happens is, he starts realizing that he has the ability to freeze time, and so like he's working in the store, and then he can just freeze everybody and then walk amongst them, and and essentially like any good romantic comedy, boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back, in the end. So I'm not giving anything away with that. That's always the classic scenario. The way it almost always works. And but I thought they did a really good job. And there's a heck of a lot of female nudity. And it's funny. It's categorized as a comedy. I wouldn't say it's belly laugh funny, but it's very amusing. And there's some really, really wonderfully developed characters. In a sense, maybe I'd have to say the characters were that sort of character building that they do, but the way characters are developed in English films, the first thing that pops into mind is the Full Monty. That sort of, there's a group of men, and you have your jock type and your sensitive type and all that, So anyway, I highly recommend it. A movie called Cash Back. Apparently, when you look at the little description, it's won some awards, like it. I couldn't see it, but there's little wreaths and stuff, some international film awards. Maybe Cannes, I don't know, So anyway, yeah. What else do I have here? Okay, now, really quick. For Louis doesn't like to hear about the drama. He likes it when I talk about politics, and that's how we first met. Through when I did political videos, and then with some of the drama that I'm involved with, people are kind of saying, "Oh, you're just become a hater in a troll channel and la 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 la, and you don't have any, you've lost all your friends and all the good people you've turned your backs on and all that." I'm like, what? I consider the people I'm still friends with good people, you know, and so as far as the number of haters. Man, this is nothing compared to when I first started posting videos about Michael Savage and being a liberal. Man, I got tons of hate from that. But people in the political realm hate in a much different way. You know, they're much more direct, actually. They'll actually make a video and show their face and tell you why you're stupid and why you're wrong. You know, whereas I'm getting attacked by trolls. I'm getting attacked by people that don't really show their face. They just make jib-jab videos and things like that. Or it's very they mock me. It's sort of a mocking thing, using puppets and things like that, which is way different. In fact, it feels more fierce and more direct when it's coming from a fellow vlogger, somebody who sits in front of the camera, what I'm doing right now, that sort of thing, and is able to articulate exactly what is wrong with me or wrong with that other person. So it's much different. So it's nothing. It's nothing compared. I got my metal tested when I first came to YouTube and started being an opinion person. And for somebody that keeps getting their homonyms mixed up, it's metal, M-E-T-T-L-E. Like there's a difference between metal and metal, and the medal you hang around your neck for your winner's award, as there is a difference between a home edition and a new book edition. I guess you could say edition, but then it sounds sort of weird, doesn't it? It sounds sort of like, oh, hoity-toity. A new edition instead of a new edition. All right, anyway, and real quick, the political thing. So, not that, that I'm really following the news as closely ever since I that whole thing. When I lost my job after almost 25 years, I was really, really devastated. I'm feeling so much better now, but I'm not out of the woods yet. I'm in a lot of trouble in many ways. Things are looking up though, but I'm definitely, the wolves are at the door, and I am not out of the woods yet. Excuse me for mixing metaphors, but I was going to say, I stopped following the news because it's just too damn depressing. I mean, I was already depressed enough as it was, so I still haven't. I lost the fire in my belly for really following this stuff and getting excited. I still see stuff that I get excited about, get upset. And one of the things is the GOP's big push, to solve the deficit problem by slashing away at what they consider big government, which they somehow think is a bad thing. And they've convinced a lot of people, oh, big government's a bad thing. Oh. And I won't go into why big government is not a bad thing. Too small of a government could obviously be a bad thing. Just imagine if you had a little tiny government. Little tiny one. No FBI, no CIA, no military. Just this one little man in a house going, this is what we should be doing, people. See? You take it exponentially. Now, if we took big government and went the other way, we'd all have jobs, right? Of course, it'd probably be like one big military. We'd all be wearing uniforms. We'd all, as soon as we're born, we'd have an assignment. It'd be like some sort of like science fiction movie. In fact, I used to read so many sci-fi novels. There were a lot of societies depicted like that in sci-fi novels, and they weren't necessarily a bad thing, Of course, there was still that struggle for individuality and freedom, but it wasn't always exactly depicted as a terrible, evil thing because those societies in those novels, and it's fiction, granted, were able to accomplish a lot because of that unity, that hive mentality. Everybody having their place, everybody having their duty. So anyway, getting back to slashing the budget. I've heard this before. I read it in a comic strip, but I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called Canterville. I think. Great comic strip, I think, Canterville. And he's talking about the idea that somebody says, oh, if government was run like my household budget, wouldn't keep going further into debt, we'd be cutting expenses. And the other person points out, but yeah, also if it was a household budget, you would try to come up with new ways of getting income. I mean, it just wouldn't be slashing, I mean, oh yeah, we need to really save money. So you start turning off the electricity, you stop buying food. Come on. There's only so far you want to go as far as slashing your budget. And then the rest of it is try to find a way to get in new revenue, And so like what I had to do, I had to cut back on a lot of expenses, things that I normally treated myself to. And I could go, surprisingly, I could fare pretty well with getting rid of a lot of these things. But I do miss, paying for a meal in a decent restaurant, I don't even eat at Denny's or anything like that anymore, calling up a friend and saying, hey, would you want to go get something to eat at the Thai restaurant, I don't do that, But then again, there's only so much I can do. I really, really don't want to give up my apartment, I really don't. I'm like, I mean, there's one place I'm not going to go, I'm going to hold on to this place whatever it takes, which means I got to take on whatever I can to make some income. So I don't know. How does the government get more income? Well, I don't know. You guess. But there's other things besides raising taxes, I suppose. But I'm not an expert in those areas, and I wouldn't pretend to be. I think we should maybe start another war and go just take stuff. No. Yeah, we're imperialists. We just call it something else because we don't have a monarchy. So anyway, yeah, so I was reading about this GOP representatives. They left Washington. They went back to talk to their constituents, and they're getting fire from those people. And they're asking them, "What's the deal with my Medi-Cal or my Medicare? Well, the changes you're going to make with these vouchers and stuff, And they're actually in Social Security. These people didn't realize, they don't think about it. It's like the Tea Party people. The guy's talking about, oh, big government, la, 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 la. And at the same time, these are people collecting Medicare and Social Security. They're idiots, And Louis Arrighi posted this video by Keith Olbermann, who basically, and I've thought this before, and I've probably said it before. Yeah, I don't know if I said it on a Fez Night. But these people that want to protect the rich, who are not rich themselves, somehow are fooling themselves that someday they're going to be rich. And they're saying, oh, well, I don't want an inheritance tax, and I don't want this, and I don't want that, things that get in the way of the wealthy, because someday, a pile of money's going to land in my lap, and I'll be one of them, Or I'm going to work my way up, and I'll be rich too, Or the other scenario he didn't mention was, I think somehow the belief that if the rich get richer, we're going to benefit somehow. A good example to look at where you're wrong is Mexico. Mexico has a terrific divide between the wealthy and the poor. And essentially what you have is this really, really small, Mexico City, for example, this really, really small group at the top. And sure, they hire a lot of people, but they're all chauffeurs, nannies, maids. And then there's this other subgroup of this guy who has to commute like 3 hours each day to go sell tortillas to the chauffeurs and the maids and the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And these people live in these big, giant mansions, with a big wall around it, and just like this army of servants. Do we want the United States to be like Mexico? Ask any Tea Party person, do you want the U.S. to be like Mexico? They'll say, hell no! Hell no! Mexico, that place is like a cesspool. But they don't think about it. They don't think about protecting the middle class. And one of the ways you protect the middle, during the height of America's like boom period, where like Rush Limbaugh is always harking back to the 50s, where you couldn't wear dungarees to school. Dungarees is like what squares call jeans, and and jeans were practically a sign of communism because it's what the working class wear. And if you're about the worker and you support the worker, you're some kind of communist. And but they're forgetting that during that period of America's golden age, well, one of the things that helped us is that Europe was devastated by World War II, and we're the only ones that still have the factories up. And we were on the winning side, but we still had an advantage over England. And come to think of it, what did most of Europe fall to? The Germans, right? France, you got Germany, the Netherlands, Italy was on the other side. Who was on our side that was still left besides the British? Well, anyway, we ended up on top in that regard. Plus, we already had a lot of resources. Oil fields had started becoming depleted. And so, yeah, there's that factor too. But the other factor was the wealthy was taxed at a much higher rate than they are now. All right, everybody. That's it. Have a great week, okay? Thanks for watching The Good, The Bad, and The Fez. Cheers.